My name is Kilty O'Brien. I'm the convener of SAVE Bondi Pavilion. Today is a very special day for the future of Bondi Pavilion. We strongly support a restoration and repair of Bondi Pavilion, which has been costed at just $9 million, not a privatisation of this public building that will waste over $38 million of ratepayers' money. This will be an election issue in the seat of Wentworth. Malcolm Turnbull has already delivered $1 million to the design phase and more has been promised. Malcolm Turnbull must choose today if he will continue standing with big developers and his staffer, the Mayor of Waverley, or stand up for his community who overwhelmingly reject the current plans. This is and must remain a community and cultural centre. I'd like to acknowledge the fantastic community support we have behind us and some better known guests. Jack Mundy is here, the father of the Green Band movement. Reg Mombassa, legendary Australian artist, best known for his mambo work and in the band Dog Trumpet. Peter O'Doherty, also of Dog Trumpets and ex-mental as anything. Senator Lee Rhiannon, long-term Waverley resident and active in the 1987 campaign to save Bondi Pavilion. Former local member and former Mayor of Waverley, Paul Pearce. Ingrid Strew, Waverley councillor, also very active in the 1987 campaign to save Bondi Pavilion. John Wakefield, Bondi Ward councillor and former Mayor of Waverley. I'd like now to pass over to Rita Malia, President of the CFMEU Construction Division, for their historical and significant announcement here today.
Thank you, Kilty, and congratulations all of you for turning out today in support of what is such an important issue. And it is our great pleasure from the Construction, Forestry, Mining and Energy Union and the construction workers across New South Wales to announce that we are placing a green ban on the Bondi Pavilion development. It's an honour to do that in the presence of such a legendary man such as Jack Mundy as we carry on the tradition of the green bans that his people started so many years ago. But this is community space. This battle is emblematic of the battles the building workers face against this government itself. We know what it's like to have our rights trashed, and we know that this community deserves better. The community has spoken, the community should be listened to, and we will be there come what may to prevent the bastardisation of this building. It should be maintained in public hands, it should be renovated, and it should be here for future generations. So we're very proud to join the community of Bondi and very proud to be part of a campaign to save this iconic building for not just the community of Bondi, but for all Australians. Thanks very much.
We're happy to take any questions. The opposition to the $38 million plan comes from the fact that the upstairs will be privatised, locking the community out, getting rid of community space, trashing the music studios at the back, which were built for $2 million at the start of 2000, ripping the theatre out, and taking this valuable community space away from the residents of Bondi, of Waverley, and all visitors that come to Bondi Beach.
So what do you hope the green ban will do?
We hope the green ban will force the council to listen to the community. As we said, we are all here today supporting a restoration and repair of the building. This does need to be done. This can be done for $9 million and ensure it remains a community centre. We in Bondi have no other community centre. I'll now introduce Jack Mundy.
Well, it's a pleasure to be back here after many, many years. To think that the green ban that's being imposed today is really wonderful. I think one of the most powerful messages that the trade union movement has ever put forward was the wonderful green ban period that saved so much of Sydney. And I think it's wonderful to think that today here after all these years that another green ban has been imposed. And Rita and Brian, I admire you more enormously for what the union movement is doing now. The union movement has come forward and filled in a vacuum that has been long gone. So it's terrific to know that the spirit of the green bans will live on forever. I also think it's important that the iconic Bondi is the area chosen. To think that this area where the green ban has been imposed is wonderful. It brings back the history of the green bans and the great history of Bondi as well. So thank you all for coming along, and would Brian like to say, well, Rita, or Brian.
Thanks, Jack. Look, we will be standing shoulder to shoulder with the ratepayers and the residents of Bondi. This issue is extremely big. You can see here that from the swell of the people that are here today, that they do not want this building to be privatised. Sure, it needs to be restoration done to the building, and that's okay, but not to cut the public out. This is in public hands, as Jack Thompson said. This is a public building, and it should remain as a public building. There is a very proud history, so we don't take these issues lightly about putting a green band on this building. It started off at Kelly's Bush, then we had the rocks, and we saved all those buildings. Jack and his legacy there. The fact is that we're going to save this building, and we will stand shoulder to shoulder with ratepayers and the public to make sure that this building is not put in the hands of privatisation. Thank you.
I'll now introduce Reg Mombassa.
Yeah, this is a fantastic resource for the local people. I've enjoyed playing here many times and rehearsed here, and so have many of my friends and relatives. And I think people are just getting sick of, right-wing governments and their wealthy developer mates doing exactly as they please and not listening to the local people. It's all, just for money, and people are getting sick of it. There's too much of that stuff happening in New South Wales, and it's got to stop.
I'll now introduce Senator Lee Rhiannon.
I do acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet and pay tribute to their history, their culture and their ongoing contribution to our community. Congratulations, we did it in 1987 and we will do it again. When you've got a green band behind you, we've got that strength. Remember the rocks, Woolloomooloo, they would look fundamentally different if Jack Mundy and the Builders Labourers Federation hadn't taken action. The strength of the community with a union behind us is just massive. And this is what Mr Turnbull needs to listen to right now. He might think he's in a safe Liberal seat, and yes he is, but community action is powerful. And right now this is a top electoral issue because millions of dollars of federal money have been earmarked for this. You can't go from a $9 million restoration to a $38 million makeover to make this building attractive for top-end restaurant and bar commercial endeavours, because that's what it's all about. That's why they want the $38 million out of the federal government. So that's why we're saying, Mr Turnbull, you can't just say this is up to the local council. You and Sally Betts as mayor have made it a federal issue. Come on board with the community. Absolutely. Come on board with the community. Make sure this is a community centre. Stop allowing it to be run down. Put the money in so it becomes a fine arts, a fine community centre, a centre for tourism. And why not? Now it's time. We had an Indigenous centre in here to record the fantastic history and the heritage of this area. So Mr Turnbull, come on board with the community. That's our message today.
I'll now introduce Ingrid Strew, who's a current Waverley councillor.
Thank you. Hi everyone.
We've been fighting Sally Betts for 4 years, my Labor colleagues and I. It's great to have the residents of Waverley standing with us. It's great to have the CFMEU standing with us. I am so proud of you all. And now we fight together. We need to stop the Mayor of Waverley and her crazy plans. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll now introduce Peter O'Doherty from the band Dog Trumpet and ex-Mental as Anything.
Hi there. Look, I've been a local community member for about 40 years around Waverley and Bondi. I've been a musician for all of that time. And I'll give you one example of what they intend to do here, which is, it's just a no-brainer. There's 3 amazing music studios out the back of the Bondi Pavilion, part of the complex, and another big room there which they use for functions, for dancing, for martial arts, for performances, and for special events. And I've been involved with many of them over the years, and I've been part of the Bondi Wave youth program, tutoring kids in those studios at the back, which they are going to demolish as part of this $38 million improvement. And they say, oh, we'll just move that program somewhere else. We'll build some studios somewhere else. That's not going to happen. This is an amazing place. It's a community centre right on the beach, and the most famous beach in Australia, internationally well known, iconic, and never to be replaced. And they want to dicker with it, gut it, privatise half of it, take the theatre out, rebuild it at enormous expense. When they've already got a great theatre, all they've got to do is fix it up a little bit. And they've already had that plan in place for years, a $9 million plan, and they wanted to upgrade that 4 times and then cut half the community out, make them pay to actually use the community centre. Now, that is obviously a no-brainer in anyone's mind if you think about it. I can't believe that the local mayor and the Liberals are not listening, have not been listening to the local community. Outrageous.
I'd now like to introduce Tim Olsen, one of Australia's most recognised and respected art identities.
This place should be an all-access place to everybody all the time, not just for people that can afford to sit in a restaurant. The things that happen in that building are beyond the belief of many people that don't know. Whether it's children, whether it's theatre, whatever it is, the place is so functional in so many ways to good people, and we don't want that taken away. Thank you.
I'd like now to introduce David Shoebridge, who's a New South Wales Green spokesperson for Heritage. Thank you.
Thanks, Gilly. It's wonderful to be here on Gadigal land. Pay my respect to the elders past and present, a land we're meeting on. But this is community land. It's a publicly owned beach. It's a publicly owned pavilion. And we do not want to see the Turnbull government and the local Liberal mayor spend $38 million excluding the public from this amazing public facility. Always in public hands. And you can see behind you, on the pavilion now, the statement that I think we all want to join together to say this is time to save Bondi Pavilion, to keep it in public hands, and our message to Turnbull and his employee, the Liberal Mayor Sally Betts, is all bets are off in this federal election. If you're not going to stand up, stand with the community and keep this amazing historic building in public hands. Thank you.
Now, we'd just like to remind everyone, next weekend on Sunday, June 5, we've got a massive event here, a concert to Save Bondi Pavilion. It will be emceed by Michael Caton. We're very lucky to have Dave Faulkner from the Hoodoo Gurus headlining for us. Dog Trumpet will be playing, and we'll be showcasing all the fabulous classes that come out of the Bondi Pavilion. So come along, tell your friends, 1 o'clock on this side of the pavilion. It'll be lots of fun, and it's sending a strong message to Malcolm Turnbull, to Sally Betts, that we care and we won't stop till the pavilion is saved as a community centre. Thank you everyone for coming today. Keep it up. Thank you.